Cheese is one of the oldest and most fascinating of all natural foods, and many of the finest benchmarks are still made by hand, the old-fashioned way, using unpasteurized raw milk. The reason for their enduring reputation is undoubtedly flavour. You only have to taste them to know they're really different to modern industrial cheese. However, traditional cheesemaking is under threat. So I'm on a mission to share this extraordinary world of dedicated and passionate farmers, cheesemakers and mongers with my daughter Ellie, before it's all gone. The Pyrenees stretch from the Atlantic to the Mediterranean and have formed a natural border between Spain and France for hundreds of years. Traditionally produced by shepherds from ewe's milk in small valley farms between December and May, the most sought-after examples were once commonly made in remote dairies high in the mountains during midsummer. But this great tradition is now at a crossroads. Over the past 50 years, the number of shepherds making cheese has declined significantly, and there's a growing trend for milk to be collected by bulk tanker for processing in large industrial dairies. One of the reasons for Normandy's reputation for great dairy products is the rich milk of these Normand breed cows. They're also the secret behind the region's benchmark cheese, Camembert de Normandie. Every cheese bearing this name contains at least 50% of Normand breed milk collected from cows grazing in a strictly defined region. But just how Camembert became such a proud symbol of French cheese-making skill is a fascinating story, shaped by a combination of historical, economic and technological forces. Can I do something you should never really do in a dairy? Just show Ellie what's inside.
Yeah, you can.
But if you open this up, you can see inside it's still very, very chalky. And in fact, you can almost still see those layers.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you try the cheese at this stage, it's got no flavour really, just very acid.
Yes, there is a big acidity.
Yeah.
It's sour. It's quite sour, yeah?
Spain has a rich heritage of traditional cheesemaking. And when it comes to names, none is better known than Queso Manchego, which comes from here on the plains of La Mancha. The unique breed of Manchega sheep that roam these arid plains once played an important role in the economic and social order of the Spanish wool industry. But after the invasion of Spain by Napoleon in 1808, many of the country's exclusive breeds of sheep were exported to other parts of the world, and the wool industry collapsed. Over the past few decades, there's been a growing consumer interest in authentic Spanish cheese. And today, a consortium of 74 producers control the production of Manchego under strict denominación controls.
Manchego cheese is a very particular cheese. It's a small wheel. It weighs up to 3.5 kilos. It's made of 100% sheep's milk, and it's cured always over 60 days.
Over the past couple of decades, there's been an astonishing renaissance in American farmstead and artisan cheese. And today, Vermont is home to more than 70 small cheese dairies, more per capita than anywhere in the US. Last time I was here, it was just the family and maybe 3 or 4 employees. How many have you got now?
We will be at 55 employees by the end of the year, so in the next 3 months. It's one of the most exciting things about what we do is the impact that our business has on such a small community. We've been talking about community building since we first purchased our cows, and now it's clear the impact that this economy has on just our small local community.
As luck would have it, I've timed my visit for the opening day of the Bath and West show. I've come here to visit a friend of mine who runs the British Cheese Awards, and I'm hoping she can give me some pointers to the finest cheeses in the West Country.
The British Cheese Awards started in 1994 when I decided that the British didn't realise how many fantastic cheeses they had. So I started it in London, and we had 296 cheeses from 94 cheesemakers. And this year, we've got 986 cheeses from 179 cheesemakers, and the most extraordinary selection of cheeses. But if you have to choose which ones you're going to go and see, it's almost impossible not to go and visit Sharpham. Beautiful location and wonderful cheeses. One of my favourite cheesemakers, Liner Dairy, who make the Cornish Yard, and also an award-winning Kern. While you're in Cheddar Country, how can you go past Jamie Montgomery? You know, there's some awesome cheesemakers down here.
If it hadn't been for the discovery of Penicillium roqueforti here in the village of Roquefort, blue cheese as we know it today would be very different.
The origins of Roquefort lie in the dramatic Rocky Mountains of the Great Course region. This unique geological formation was created millions of years ago when collapsing cliffs formed a system of well-ventilated caves 2 kilometres long and just 300 metres wide. According to local legend, their extraordinary alchemy was discovered entirely by chance when a shepherd abandoned his lunch of bread and cheese in the caves after being distracted from his flock by a beautiful shepherdess. Or perhaps it was a wolf. Either way, we'll never know. But one thing's for sure, on returning to the cave a month or so later, he found the bread and cheese had turned blue. And after taking a small bite, he discovered the combination tasted absolutely delicious. So a legend was born.
What's going on?
The churn is overflowing.
Alléluia.
Lynn, Will. Woo! That was your woo.
Got the woo.
I know.
Unbelievable. That's what I'm going to try.
For that, we do physical maturation. 2, 3. Woo, woo!
She's eating spiders. I can eat.
There was this turquoise water rushing across these white rocks. You know, the other thing is I don't remember these traffic lights.
And